Hey Captain Sparkles, this is Mattifier. I thought I'd show you something that I built, but before I go in, I was wanting to share why I was inspired to build it. I was browsing videos in YouTube, and one of the recommendations was Syndicate's channel. I went over, I kind of browsed over his library of games, or videos, and I seen something called the Purge. I went ahead and watched it, and while he was on the server by himself wreaking havoc, in trying to get into everybody else's vaults, it inspired me to make a vault that would help prevent, you know, some of the mischief that he was partaking in, like leading creepers into a vault to sidestep the rule of not actually being able to break blocks himself. So I thought I'd build a vault that was, creeper proof among other trolls that I added into the system. So entering the front door, you have this column of water that prevents any kind of NPCs from getting in here. Number one, there's the hole that would lead to like lava or just a regular pit that would kill a regular NPC or even your fellow players if they were to make a mistake and accidentally fall into the pit. So they would have to jump over the pit and then walk upstream just to get in the official front door. Now I could go in there, but I thought I'd show you the two signs here first. You're going to die anyway, so here's a chest for you to use. Well, the chest itself has no contents, but as soon as you start putting your items in there, it takes them out, and now they're in your vault where they can't get access to it. Even if they was to break it, if they chose to break the stone block or what have you, it's not accessible anymore. So that's one way of grabbing their loot without actually fighting them. In case of short supply, break glass for ender pearl. Now, there is a reason for having the ender pearl because the vault itself, just barely going in the front door here, there's lava behind some glass. Well, I have tested this out, and the distance from here to that lava is just perfect where you can throw an ender pearl through the lava and make it onto the other side. Well, in order for a person to do that, they need an ender pearl. So what they would do is they come over here and break the frame, and the ender pearl would fall behind this block here. And there might be another sign here saying, break the block in order to get to it. So when you do that, the bud switch activates and pulls the block out from underneath them, leading them into water or lava or what have you. I did think of a improvement to the design is having another piston which activates as soon as that retracts, where it would bring another block down to prevent them from actually being able to escape by putting buckets of water up and just climbing back out. So worst case scenario, somebody actually does have an ender pearl, they toss it out there, but I'll get to that here in a minute. You'll notice that there's also a pressure plate here. Well, as soon as I step on it, the door behind me shuts, which the idea is to be able to go in here safely without anybody following you. So this is a trap for them, but it's also a safety measure for you, because now you can step on this pressure plate, which triggers a timer, and now you can grab out the correct passcode and of course there'd be another treasure chest here, and then there's the second hopper there, and when both of them have the correct number of swords, a passageway would open up, and then this pressure plate would reset the system. All those swords that you threw in that hopper would come back into the chest, allowing it, allowing the system to reset. But unfortunately, this this little hallway and system here takes quite a bit of redstone, unfortunately. All this is just for that one piston, or those two pistons, in order to activate. but I was only using the one hopper, so if you only want to use one, that's fine. This is a special redstone repeater, so you could set this up on all the nether brick. Basically, take this design and then stick it either here or here or here or here, and that also correlates to the number of swords that you would need inside. So if they put too few in there, it won't activate, and if they put too many, it'll disable and not activate. The reason I have 2 in here is because it is possible to put too many in there, like for a split second. Well, I take it back. When they put the right number in, it'll activate for a second, and then if they put too many in there, it'll deactivate, but therein lies the problem. They know exactly how many swords to put in there. So I wanted to put a second one in there, I never finished it. Let me get this rain out of the way. I go back. And just like that, with the stone blocks in the way, they can't physically, nobody can physically follow you. In order to reset that button, I suppose you could have like a hidden switch somewhere. But for me, I left it back here. The way that system works is it's got this memory redstone circuit. It looks complicated at first, but for the most part, you just need a it's pretty easy to look up. Basically, you have a redstone signal that's active on one side and then not active on the other. So when you hit the switch and activate the other side, that side becomes active, and then this here becomes deactive. So you have a on-off switch, and that's what the pressure plate is for. You trigger the pressure plate once, it trips the system, and then in order to reset it, you hit the button, and then it opens, it resets it again. Should they, well, let me pause for a second. Alright, my apologies. I accidentally triggered it. If they don't actually figure out the correct passcode, they could continue on in here and get like a closer range to it. Or in some cases, if they don't actually aim far enough, number one, there's a possibility that they'll fall into the lava. But that's not just lava there. It falls onto a sign, and then that sign divides the lava and the water. So when they die, there's a possibility that the items will fall into the water, and then from that water it would go into a hopper, and then it would be stored into your vault. Now in this case, there's tripwire here, so if they fall too short of it, then it opens up all these pistons, and it causes them to fall into lava. And again, I wanted the system to have, a way for them. Basically, the lava would burn them, and if they wanted to burn, that's fine. If they wanted to fall further into the system and drown, that's fine too. It's just the idea of having the water over the top of a hopper in order to collect the items off of their unfortunate dead bodies. This here was actually pretty easy to design. You have this redstone here, connects to these pistons, and then it's on a repeater, which goes. Tell you what, I'll do another video and then post it on the end of the tour. This way I can give a better explanation as to what's going on. This was kind of a tricky system to put together because there's 2 sets of pistons, and when the floor goes down, obviously there's sticky pistons that bring the floor down, but then you have 2 sets of pistons which work on a bud system that pull both of them out. And then the system resets by pushing them both back, and then the pistons push the floor back up, so it looks like there's nothing wrong. Let me show you I'll go ahead and show you the lava and the water thing. So you got a block of source lava, and then you got 2 signs under it, and then you have water filling the tank, and then that goes into the hoppers, which feed into a treasure chest, or wherever it is that you want to have the items filtered to. Let me jump in here. Let's see. There is a possibility you could set it up to where they can't use ender pearls in order to get in. I just, like I said, this is an unfinished project, but I don't know. I got bored with it after a while, I suppose, or I had other things to do. Sweet throw, you made it. Now what? Kind of a little visual troll. It's like there's all your chests and iron bars to boot, so you can actually see, see these chests in there. But how do you get to it? Well, looking around, there should be a couple of stone blocks here. I forgot to reset that, but you have this button here, which triggers that door, so that would throw them into a state of confusion. But then further back, there's a whole bunch more buttons, but only a couple of them actually do what's necessary. Like one of them, for example, would open up this passageway, and just for the heck of it, you could have like tripwire, or just even the button by itself that would trigger a dispenser with arrows that would actually shoot the person, just for the heck of it. Another troll. Have a nice day, come again. And then of course, with this little bit of a hallway here, it tricks the eye into thinking that maybe there's something to the right. Of course, it was yet another troll, but the concept here was to add another set of pistons, or just add another possible door like this here that would actually lead into the vault. But of course, when they get in here, they realize that this vault is actually a lie. And then of course, this door doesn't actually lead anywhere. That button is just set up to confuse the person. And as far as resetting the system, let me come back in here. This long hallway would be a way to get out of the vault. The one piston is set up again on the that on-off switch, and the other piston closes the door so that there's no way of getting back in from the backside. So there you have it. That's some of what I was working on, inspired by Syndicate's mischief a long time ago. Considering that he did it to you, I figured I'd send you the idea of the vault. I hope you enjoyed the 50-cent tour.